Hey, 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 Facebook, what's going on? It's your girl, Neo Soul recorded artist, Lahla-Hadiya, and I am back on a Monday morning with another segment of Morning Tea with Mommy. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Are y'all awake? Y'all awake? No. Give me some high fives if y'all awake. If you bright eyed and bushy tailed like I am right now. So, let's jump right into it. Today's topic, and I want my fellas to chime in on this one, right? Even though it's universal, this is not just about men. But today's topic and question rather is, are we really our brother's keeper? However you see that question, do you feel like we should be? In a place where we should be, are we really exercising or exhibiting the characteristics of being the keeper of our brothers? And that's inclusive of our sisters too. Who we identify as our brothers, and can we do something better? Or what can we do better to be held accountable for holding others accountable? So that's the topic. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my mom in. Let's see what she got on today. Hey, what's good? That's what I'm talking about.
I
That's what I'm
represent
talking about.
you. You must
Royalty,
have peeked in
baby.
my closet.
I still can't do it like her
On one,
though. I
that's
forget
what I'm
something.
talking about.
Look, we got the same colors, but I forget something. She
Yes,
always tell me don't
yes.
walk out the house without earrings. I guess because we all working from home now. I forget my earrings more than
Got
than
my
I.
Conquerors on.
But she always
Got
on
my
point. I don't
Conquerors
know
on.
what to do. I give up.
Good morning, good morning. How's everybody? It's a beautiful day in our neighborhood. In my neighborhood, it's a beautiful day. And I'm hoping that everybody woke
Hey
up feeling
Erica, I
good,
gotta call your
looking good.
girl. Is she on my I need to. You need to inbox me her information. Let me make sure that she's connected to me because I'm not sure she's on my Facebook or not.
Who's that?
As we was there's a young lady named Erica on here, awesome queen. I met her a few weeks ago, and they invited me into their group, and they're a group of amazing people, and so I had connected with one of her girlfriends, and I don't know if she's on my Facebook page, but I need to get in touch with her. But anyway, what's going on? What's going on? You can go ahead and roll up off of my page, homie. Um, so we're gonna get started. Are we really our brother's keeper? So I believe, of course, I grew up in a Christian background. Let me go ahead and sometimes you have to. Satan is always busy, and sometimes people don't understand who you are and whose you are. But we about to let them know right now. I'm sorry, mommy. Give me 1 second.
Let's have a block party. Block them, block them.
I'm not gonna need to block them, but you will definitely roll up off of my
But leave them with the message.
you will
Yeah,
definitely roll
we
up off of
we
my
are
live.
we are our, I have this saying, we are our brother's keeper and sister's keeper, good, bad, or indifferent. We are our brother's keeper. No matter what the situation is, um, we're not here to make people feel good all the time. You have to a big part of
Handle that
lifting our
real quick.
brothers and sisters up has to do with us lifting them up righteously in the right manner. Um, when someone brings us down or attempt to bring us down, it's not our job to to go down with them, as it is to do something, say something that would uplift them. And that's what I'm in the business of, uh, lifting people up, encouraging them, amidst all the animosities and so forth. Satan is always busy. Satan is
He
very
is,
busy,
he is, he is that.
but God is busier. God is busier, and he can his busyness. relies on us, our hands, our feet, our tongue, to do the right thing. So, yes, we are our brother's keeper and sisters.
And I feel like we've gotten away from, and I'm about to use a perfect example. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully you can't. But I'm gonna use a perfect example because I think we've gotten to a place where I don't know. It doesn't really matter who did it, but we've gotten to a place where, let's just start with we as a people. We as a people um, have allowed for so long um, different things to come in to defile who we are supposed to be. We are kings and queens. And let me just make this very clear, Mr. Dupree. I'm a queen. So don't ever come on my page and disrespect me and my mother. All right? Ever. You don't want that in your life. Um, I think it's necessary for us to hold people accountable. People are going to see this message. You're going to think I'm crazy because I'm going to go ahead and delete the message. But you have to understand that when you have so many positive people around you and you have so many people who are keepers of Lahla-Hadiya, um, people like that, you don't want to jump into that arena. So I think it's necessary for us to hold people. Good morning, V. What's going on, bro? For us to hold people accountable, male or female, um, because that's the only way we win, right? That's the only way that we are able to win. Not by stepping on each other, not by um, doing things to make another person look bad. Speaking to my queens, more specifically, it's it's enough room in the kingdom down here for more than one queen, and making sure when you see a young lady calling another young lady out her name, whether they're playing or not, we're better than that. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's I think it's our not civil duty, but I think it's who we are as people, who we are as children of God, to make sure that we're seen in the best light. And this crosses all barriers. It's not just a black and white thing. So many times we make things black and white. What better way to start something than to start at home in your own house? However, it's not just a black and white thing. I think that we all have a responsibility to make sure that the next man or the next woman is uplifted. Because if you don't, then you run the risk of bumping into that situation later because you allowed that person to continue on this pathway and now they become your obstacle. Not saying that, God is not going to allow um, the purpose for your life to move forward. However, there was an opportunity for testimony. There was an opportunity for you to be a living testimony to that person, instead of just saying, well, whatever, that's them. I'm gonna just X them out of my circle or whatever. I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary because if you breed a whole bunch of people with like spirits, with positive energy, then you're surrounded with people with like spirits and positive energy. Um, so yeah, are we our brother's keeper? Absolutely. What's up, Manda? Manda, I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you, sis. I really need to hear from you. This lady right here. Let me tell you
Hi,
the
Amanda.
the profoundness that comes out of her lips. But
Is that
I,
my
I'm
dancing friend?
I'm opening up the floor. I'm opening up the floor because I really it's crazy because God, like, as soon as I got on this live, I was tested, right? Um and my reaction to the test means everything, and it means it proves the authenticity of what I would say to you all. Because there was a message that popped up that was just so out of pocket. And me ignoring it, um, how I dealt with it, or my response rather, whether you guys can see it or not. I'm gonna try to delete it, but whether you guys can see it or not, it my response to it was so necessary because of what we're talking about, and the topics that we bring up. We're not just doing it for show. Like I really, this was something that um, I have been breeding for a long time. And when God tells you to move, you're supposed to do it. And so now I have no excuse. So we came out with it right when we hit this whole pandemic thing or whatever, which was perfect timing. Some people are home, and some people are on their way to work, and they frustrated, and they just need to hear something. So the authenticity of what happens on this segment is so necessary. It has to be real, it has to be authentic. So the test that I was just given when I first got on here is crazy, and I'm laughing now because humanistically, if is that a word? I don't know, but
It is
humanistically,
now.
I was about to become straight Lahla-Hadiya. That
That's my
Lahla-Hadiya
mom
that some
here.
of you have never seen. But God pulled my card on this. Was how you gonna handle it? So and it needed to be addressed, but it was how I was going to respond that would prove the authenticity of why we do this. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up and let me see what the comments say, because I'm sure
And while you're
somebody got
looking at the
something to say.
comments, before we hear, when they go low, we go high. Thank you, Michelle
Amen.
Obama.
Amen.
Thank you for
um, Van Shaw talk about he ain't doing nothing, but he in Walmart looking for a spray light. So, bro, you don't get out the store. Oh my gosh, Manda, this is true. Yes, we are.
you better get
Yes,
some
we are.
extras.
We love you too, Manda. We love you too. So, like, this
Yes,
is the thing.
I miss you, Amanda. Amanda.
This is the thing. Since nobody wants to expound, um, what does it mean? What does it mean to be your brother's keeper? And let me preface it or let me add a tag on to it and say, don't give me the storybook version. Like I want real. I want real, because everybody doesn't understand the word of God. Everybody doesn't believe the word of God, and we are God's arms, legs, hands, and feet. And encountering a world where people just don't get it and don't understand, break it down in human form, layman's terms. What does it mean to be our brother's keeper? What does that mean to you? Does it mean anything?
I'm going to say again that no man is an island. I've said this since our first broadcast. No man is an island. You were not created, and whether you feel you were created or however, you were not meant to be in this world, this whole big, gigantic world alone. You were created to interrelate with one another, like it or lump it. And I'm always saying to folk, um, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter, and that's to say whether you consider a person good, bad, or indifferent, you still are in this world to relate. You're going to have to relate to someone, and they're not going to always agree with you. They're not going to always do what you feel they should do, and vice versa. However, we have to learn to get along. And I really believe that this entire process of the pandemic is little by little teaching people to do just that, to interrelate, learn how to agree to disagree. We're not going to always think the same. We're not Siamese twins, and even Siamese twins don't always do the same thing at the same time. in the same way. We have to be able uh, to tackle adversities in a righteous way, in a good way. Um, I see, in strolling through Facebook, sometimes I absent myself purposely because some of the comments are pretty strong, whether they're on my page or other people's pages. Um, People are going to always do things that are not consistent with what we're used to, what we do, and we have to make ourselves toughen our skin. And at the same time, that's why it's important for us to put out the positive, to put out the positive. I'm a proponent that even against negativity, that if you come back with positive, it will cancel out because you're therefore not focusing on that negative. You're focusing on the positive. Um, So we have to, as Law said earlier, you have to deal with them sometimes, but you also have to pick your battles. Some
I
things are
agree.
not worth identifying with, other things are. And when you identify with them, make certain that you're not going low where they are, that you're going to go above them in whatever your comments, your actions, or what have you. Um, that's my take for now.
So Amanda says we don't want the circumstances of life to force you to love and care for people when you had time to reflect his characteristics and attributes prior to. Um, Vanita says, I think it means we're supposed to look out for everyone and treat them as we would want to be treated, which I
Absolutely.
do to the best of my ability, but I won't necessarily take from mine to do so. So let me jump into that comment first because I agree. And I also look at the second part of your comment slightly different. Um, because taken from um, I have taken from mine to give to others. And I think it's a matter of perspective because I'm the person that like I always how I grew up. This beautiful lady right here, and my dad. I was fortunate to grow up in a household under a pastorship of my dad, and then my mom being a school teacher. But just their personalities and their spirits, um, that God was always going to take care of me. And I had this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago, as far as like what God gives you common sense, He does. There are also times where it's just straight faith, right? It's just straight faith, no second thought. Like when you're getting out that car and you're going into the 7-Eleven and somebody's standing out front and you have that second to think, do they really need this dollar? Are they about to take this dollar and go get drugs? Do they have a whole wad of cash in their pocket? Sometimes it's just straight, where's your faith, or where does your faith lie? And so that changes your motivation for doing or not doing that thing. So when you can reach in your pocket and hand that dollar and keep it moving and not get inside your head and now try to speculate what they're supposed to do with the dollar, because your part in that particular play was just to plant the seed. What if it's not a dollar? You're going in there and you legit don't have enough to give that person because you're going in there with your what you would call your last or your little bit to get something for your dependents, and your your faith isn't um, on higher level as some who just do it without thought. Doesn't make you wrong, doesn't make them any right. And you still seize the opportunity to plant a seed, which may not be a monetary seed, but just a seed for life, a seed that you have no control over what that's going to do um, for that person. But it's just your job and your position and your play at that moment to plant the seed. Um, I feel like we should take those opportunities. I think we get so caught up in thought, like we're always trying to. And I say this just I'm speaking for myself because I am an over analyzer. Like I over analyze everything. I think it's the cop in me. Like even not being a cop anymore, I still think that way. I'm always analyzing a situation. I'm pulling up and I've already seen the person standing outside. We ain't even all the way in the parking lot, and I'm like, safety, okay, let me not pull in the fatal funnel. Let me not, okay, I'm walking in here with my baby, so let me make sure I got them covered just in case everything goes down, because Papa Bear not here with us, you know what I'm saying? Johnny Castro, who's all kinds of crazy, is not here, so I got to make sure that, we're straight walking into the store. Sometimes I have a tendency to get into my own head instead of just operating in straight faith. Faith that God brought me to this place for a reason. He's going to provide what is necessary for us to keep moving on our journey wherever we were going to. And He's also presented an opportunity for testimony. He's also presented an opportunity for me to be the keeper of my brother, whatever that looks like. It may not be monetary. And I think that's where some people get stumped because it's always like, okay, well, if you see it back, you're supposed to just give them, money. Um, and I don't have it. I'm not going to just give them money. Look, I mean, people then drove past. If everybody give them money, they should be straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about that. There have been times when I have given money just because I it was in my peripheral, and I've driven off, and later that day, someone has given to my family, whether it be, hey, we cooked this or whatever, and y'all are so amazing, we just wanted to give this to you, or my daughter needed something for a particular project or something like that, and somebody just happened to like, hey, I had this, and we're like, oh my god, and so for me, it's the progression or the maturing of my faith that allows me to, in a comfortable space, be willing to be the keeper of my brother, whatever that looks like. And it's different for each situation, I believe. I'm just speaking of, a homeless person or whatever. Let me see. The season has taught us to see what is valuable and important to invest your energies because we need one another to thrive. We absolutely do. And I really hope people get it. It's disheartening because I don't think people get it. Like, I don't. Georgia opened up and people are standing outside the nail salons. Now, I understand, a nail salon is a business. So behind that business, there is somebody who needs employment. So they need people um, to help their business thrive. So my thing is, being in the house, one or two things could have happened. You could have, because everything on YouTube, you could have learned how to do it and sowed that seed that you was so pressed to stand in line for to give to that worker and just sow the seed anyway. Because really, where you going? That in this day and time, that you really need your nails done. And ladies, don't chew me up too bad because I got a bite for you. Like, it really is not that necessary. It really isn't. Being a woman is not that necessary. It's not. But if you have that seed to sow, sow it. Sow it. What what does it take from you to go a week, 2 weeks, a month without your nails done, without the gel tip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And if you were going to allot that amount for that anyway, what does it take from you? It may present itself or present a position where you run into somebody um, who, in a social distancing way, knows how to do nails, and they're in your circle already. It's in a safer place or space rather, where you have the opportunity to get your nails done, or somebody teaches you how to do. I've watched, one of my baby sisters. I don't know if she picked it up on YouTube or just somebody told her, but she knew how to take that gel stuff y'all be putting on it. You got to soak it to get the crap off. Like, she learned how to do it at home. So God always presents opportunity, for one, for us to minister, and one, for us to be ministered to, for us to be blessed, for us to be taken care of. It's like, do we get out of our heads enough to just walk by faith, um, to have that situation um, present itself in its full circle or its full rim? Or are we so focused on ourselves that we miss the opportunity for the blessing? Because keeping keeping our fellow man safe means that when the time comes for us all to integrate, it's less bodies dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we've allowed this situation to run its course properly. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
But just keeping in mind that we've been equipped with everything we need uh, in this person, in this body, and what we don't need. That's where the brother's keeper or sister keeper comes in handy, because what we don't have is complemented by others. And one of the many things that's coming out of this season that we're in is the fact that people are forced to utilize the resources that they have, that we have, and making do with what we have. I made several, I had several phone calls on yesterday, or post, or not post, but comments, messages asking, if I was okay, if there's anything I needed. And I said, you know what? Praises be, I have everything that I need right now. Um, if I don't have it, I am resourceful enough to make do with that which I do have. And I think that is what one of the valuable things that's coming out of this season that we're in
Mm-hmm.
is making do, surviving. Um, I take pride in my Israel experience, which I often refer to as my past days, where I've gone through several things, um, and bringing up my children during this time. They became survivors. They became children who were able to take advantage of what they had, making the most of what they had. And what they didn't have, they didn't cry the blues over, but they just enjoyed what they had. And I think, if anything, what we are getting out of this season that we're in, this pandemic season, is to value what we have already, and that's a big part too of, us, as those of us who believe in God, know that, he will supply our every need, and some things that we desire. And that is when we take advantage of those things that we have already. And never seen the seed forsaken. We have got to get into the mindset that, our needs will be taken care of. This too, this season will soon pass. And everything that we're gaining as a result of what we don't have, or what we think we don't have, if we keep the faith, that it's going to be even better. And I'm a firm believer in that. Um, Reaching out to each other, we have to be mindful of that. Reaching out to our brothers and sisters, and from what I said initially, with people calling and contacting folk, they don't have to be your blood relatives. Everybody is your brother, everybody's your sister. And just contacting people just on a whim and saying, hey, do you need anything, or is anything that I can do? And maybe sometimes it's just a kind word, just saying something inspiring. And that's one of the things that this journey I've been on for a while. And that is just contacting people I haven't talked with in years, and just saying something encouraging. And I'm encouraging each one of us to do that.
Vanita says, I feel you, amen. That kind of giving I do freely. My constant prayers for discernment and opportunity to serve others and give encouragement, even if I can't give monetarily. Amanda says, I have to go because I have to go faith walking for my family, and I'll inbox you the greatest challenge I face in my life. Okay, be careful. Um,
Love you, Manda.
Benita says, I like that, mom's your Israel experience. I agree. I mean, I think we get so caught up in what it looks like to be your brother's keeper, what it looks like to hold people accountable. And that's what keeps us away from being that, or away from freely walking in that space, because we get so caught up in what we think that means. And you don't have to be in nobody's business, to be there to encourage. So a lot of times I'll see people say, you know, um, Facebook fam, just pray. Don't ask me any questions. Just please, just pray. Seen that a lot. Um, and some people, I gather, would, when somebody says, "Can you pray for me?" They're sending inboxes. What's going on? What's happening? And sometimes it just isn't even. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Because prayer can go a long ways. And you're praying to a person or a being, rather, that sees more than you see. So even if you don't know, they do. So offering up that prayer on that person's behalf because that's what they asked, in a genuine manner, um, can just be all that's necessary. We get so caught up in, well, we got to know this, we got to know that, and it's like, okay, so you got the info. Now, what you gonna do with it? Um, you know, a homeless person in front of a store, you ask them what they're going to use the money for, and so now you have that info. Then what you going to do with it? Because are you the decider of where that person is in their life, and does that determine how or if you help them? That's another question. You know, do you need to know? Do you need to know? Is it that necessary to know where a person is in their life for you to offer up assistance or help? And does that determine whether you're actually going to help them or not? Because sometimes it's not even about that person. God just wants to see how you're going to handle the situation. He wants to see your response, because He's got something for you. And what He's got for you is necessary for you to be in a certain place mentally. Um, and so He just wants to see how you're going to respond. And so being able to literally think things through sensibly. Does this take away from me where I can't function, where my dependence can't function? Um, and some people are just so matured in their faith that they will give their last. And again, like I said earlier, it doesn't make a person any more right or a person any more wrong. wherever you are on that level. Some people are like, you know what, this is what I have to spare. Some people are like, I don't even know if I have this to spare, but here you got it. And then some people are like, okay, well, I may have it to spare, I may not, but I'm gonna teach you how to get it for yourself because it's that easy. Or, I'm capable of teaching you so that you can now go fishing for yourself and bring in income for yourself, or feed your family on your own. It depends on what it looks like, but we have to get out of our own heads, and stop living this mentality of it's about me and mine, because eventually it's going to come back around. If nobody addresses the situation or nobody addresses the issue, then you and yours may be encountered with that situation again, but in a different realm. And so now you're defending everything that you built for you and yours. Now you're faced with having to defend it. And it can go several ways from that point. You could lose it all, or you could lose it all. You could lose it all physically, meaning, it's taken from you, or in defending it, you could lose it all because you make a move that's not necessarily that wise and you lose it all. So I don't know. I think it shouldn't be I think it shouldn't be a matter of whether we're capable, rather whether it's necessary, if that makes sense. Because sometimes, I if I think too long, I'm probably incapable of that help. Um, but if I step out on faith, before I know it, He's speaking. God is speaking through me, and I've blessed this person. I've helped this person, and then the flip side is somebody else pours it right back into me every time. Like every year, my church does a fast, and you know, people are praying for different things in their life. I always take that opportunity to pray for other couples. It's the weirdest thing, um, because I'm on my hands and knees every night praying for other couples. Like I choose different couples that are in my circle, outside of my circle, people I bump into, I see, I meet, and I start praying for them, and when where I can, where I'm able, pour into them. And the strangest thing happens. Like while I'm doing that, God is strengthening my marriage. It's crazy because I don't even ask for anything, in regards to my marriage. And everybody can stand some growth. Every relationship can stand growth. Every relationship can stand a little bit more sunshine, um, even where there's sun. So my relationship is not beyond reproach, or some polishing. And I focus. I make a conscientious effort to focus on other people and not my own situation. And because of that, like, God blesses me. God blesses me and my husband. God blesses me and my family. And so because I've seen it and I've lived it, it's not hard for me to give. When this whole pandemic started, um, my children are fortunately, um, of a mind and heart where they just want to give, to other people just because, and they're not in that area of, era of, can we FaceTime, put this on FaceTime so people can see us giving somebody something. They just want to give. And so without thought, without question, we walked into a space where, we reached out and said, if there's anybody that, have to work and they're in the front line and they can't work from home and their child is in need, let us know. We'll make it happen. Like we'll split this thing so that y'all can have some and we can have some. And as a result, like God has continuously blessed. Like my children have not gone hungry and they've had more than enough. Um, and they've learned how to sustain themselves and not become gluttony because of this situation. Like some people panicking now you got all this stuff. Now you sitting in a house full of toilet paper and you hungry. You know what I'm saying? Because you got inside your own head. Like I don't get it. It's the weirdest thing. But like, I just feel like if we get out of our head and focus on the situation as a whole and how us being kind, how us emitting love, how us emitting sacrifice and selflessness can saturate the whole entire space that we're in, that would ultimately saturate that outer circle, that will ultimately saturate the world, and create a better living space condition for us to be in. I don't know. That's my word. I'm
You know,
sticking to that.
and and keeping in mind that as long as your hands are clutched, holding tight to what you have already, think about it. You have no space, no room for receiving anything else. So as you are releasing those clutched hands and reaching out, extending to others, it's through your extending to others that you will also receive. Um, I had to my challenge, and I don't know, it just came by accident. Nothing happens by accident. So I'll say during these broadcasts, it's inspired me to just come up with some thoughts uh, for all of us to think about. And something that came in my mind yesterday um, was these words: I reached out too far for what I saw, not knowing that it took me to where you are. And that is to say, as I'm reaching out and just reaching, continuously reaching out, that it leads me to somebody somewhere who may be in need. And I challenge each of us, self included, as we leave today, that we continue to reach out, because I truly believe in my heart that each of us during these times, we are reaching out, some without knowing it. But I'm challenging us to continue to reach out and give of what we have. Because when you give what you have, you unclutch those fists and open up, then more you will receive. You will receive more. Uh, this topic is an excellent
It
one
must have
for the
been
time.
touchy because not too many people were talking.
It
Like y'all be
really,
all in on them juicy topics,
they must be
topics where
taking
it's like
notes.
accountability. People get closed mouth. But it's necessary, man. I mean, you know, um,
I want to shout out Renita. Um, During the course of the year, way back before the beginning of the year, in fact, last year and before, I'm gonna tell you this sister. I'm gonna say this little sister. This my daughter, my surrogate daughter.
my twin.
She is reaching out all the time. I follow her, and not only for her own child or children. I noticed she would extend herself to have lunch with her baby son, her baby, and who's
He
not
ain't
a
no
baby
baby no
now.
more.
But Renita reaches out in ways that you would not believe. And I just want to shout her out because Mama Lou notices, and I am just so proud and pleased with the manner in which she has reached out, even before these hard times that we're in now. So, it's encouraging to me, Renita. I applaud you, really. Love you. Mwah.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this morning segment of Morning Tea with Mommy. Now that you guys are awake and you guys, those who are on the front line, bless you. We love you. We appreciate you. Be
Love you
safe.
much.
Carry this with you while you're going out. And just think about it. Just think about it. Ponder on it. Think about the blessings that God um, has shown you, just even in this time. Where you have to go, you know, to and fro. And he's kept you safe, you know. Think about
Absolutely.
it. Think about it. Because he didn't have to, but he did.
Mhm.
And so
And
we don't have
we can make
to.
it.
We don't have to help people, but
Mm,
it just sure feels good when you do. And
it
then
does.
something's always around the corner waiting to to reward you. Like God always has something, and don't do it for the reward. However, do it knowing that you're gonna be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna take from your life to help somebody. So that wraps it up for this morning. Join us tomorrow, bright and early, 7:30. All my newcomers, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Well,
Um,
um,
I love you. I know
love
my
you
mama
too.
love you, and most importantly, God loves you too. This is your
Yes.
girl, neo soul recorded artist Lahla-Hadiya. And as always, have an awesome day. Be safe, be smart, be wise. And until
Absolutely.
tomorrow, 7:30. Peace out.
Remember, we can make it together.